Avoid ego-provoking words, threats and revenge. Showing your ego using provoking words and threatening the other person must be totally avoided. If you use any of these in a quarrel, even a beggar will not bend before you. Finally, you alone will end up in a total loss. You must know that even a beggar is protected by God. You should always express kindness, peace, and love for everybody. If you do this, even a demon will eventually change, and in the end, you will get total benefit. You must know that even in a demon, there is the possibility of change. Whether it is a total loss or a total benefit, the other side will also equally share it with you. Can the loss to others provide even a trace of benefit to you? Never. But if you provide even a trace of benefit to others, it will yield a hill of benefit to you in due course of time. In the Mahabharata, Dharmaraja, the eldest of the 5 Pandava brothers, was terribly cheated and insulted by the evil cousin Duryodhana. In spite of that, Dharmaraja wanted to avoid a war against Duryodhana. He was prepared to accept just 5 villages in place of his due share of half the kingdom. Eventually, due to the ego of Duryodhana, the war did take place, and it caused a hill of loss to Duryodhana and his brothers, the Kauravas. Unfortunately, an equal hill of loss was also suffered by Dharmaraja and his brothers. All the sons of the 5 Pandavas were killed. Knowing this possibility of unacceptable damage to both sides, Dharmaraja had wanted to avoid a war at any cost. But his wife Draupadi wanted revenge and was rigidly bent on having a war. Revenge should never be taken in your own hands. It should always be left to God. When a person slaps you once, you might slap him back once in revenge. But if you leave the revenge to God instead, God might slap him 100 times. Jesus said, "The revenge is mine." One human being cannot punish another human being for his or her faults, since only a faultless person can punish the other. But it's impossible for a faultless human being to exist. The omniscient God knows every human being fully. He knows everyone, not only in this life, but also in all their past lives. He knows each one both externally as well as internally. He knows each and every deed done by all. Hence, God alone can judge any person perfectly. He alone is eligible to decide the most appropriate punishment for each person and give that punishment to the person. When a prostitute was about to be punished by the public, Jesus told the people that the first person punishing her should be the one who has not committed a single sin. We do not know any person fully because we are not with the person all the time throughout the person's life. Besides, we can only know the person externally. Whatever goes on inside the person is unknown to us. Our knowledge is neither full nor deep. On the other hand, the administration of God is always perfect, and no injustice can ever happen in it. There might be some delay in punishing the sinner because God gives some time to the sinner for rectification. If you keep silent during that period, God will compensate your loss. If you are determined to have your revenge, you also will be punished by God without any compensation to you. Had Draupadi kept silent and given up the idea of revenge, God would not only have destroyed the evil Kauravas who refused to change, but he would also have saved the children of Draupadi from their deaths. But Draupadi could not give up her continuous burning attitude of revenge, and as a result she was left childless. Besides, Draupadi was not 100% free of blame. Duryodhana had not cheated the Pandavas and abused her for no reason. Draupadi had laughed at Duryodhana when he fell in the Maya Sabha, the wondrous court of the Pandavas. She had spoken hurtful words to him. If she had not done that, Duryodhana might not have got the idea of revenge towards Draupadi. Of course, Duryodhana was highly sinful since the magnitude of his revenge was extreme, even for the small sin of Draupadi. Hence, Duryodhana was punished by God severely. Even Dharmaraja was punished by God in that he was forced to leave the kingdom and live in the forest for 12 years. Dharmaraja's sin was that he should not have accepted the invitation for gambling. Gambling is a sin that is prohibited by the ethical scripture. Focus on the spiritual path. The analysis and method of arriving at correct conclusions is similar in both Pravrtti, which is worldly life, and Nivrtti, which is spiritual life. Rigid fools who are full of ego are like demons who neither know what is correct in Pravrtti nor what is correct in Nivrtti. Pravrittincha nivrittincha janana vidurasura says the Gita. Such people are always dominated by rajas or ego and tamas, which is ignorance. Due to ego, they do not listen to others, and due to ignorance, they do not know what is right by themselves. Even God cannot convince such people. Even more dangerous are those who are not actually asleep but are pretending to be asleep. Among the two paths, Pravrtti and Nivrtti, one should concentrate on Nivrtti, which is spiritual life. The fruit of Nivrtti follows the soul forever in all the future births, and it leads the soul to the eternal goal. The soul travelling in the main line of Nivrtti should not get disturbed by issues related to Pravritti or worldly life. Vimudho Brahmanav Pathi. A student pursuing the main line of studies in an educational institute should not get disturbed by the issues related to the hostel administration. If you have the talent and capacity to simultaneously do well in both, it's good. But if your capacity is limited, then you must confine yourself only to the main line of Nivritti. Even if it initially appears that your Pravritti is not going very well, the divine administration of God will ensure that everything will get rectified in due course of time. All you need is a little patience and the understanding that your knowledge is limited and superficial. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that propagating divine spiritual knowledge pleases the Lord greatly. Jnana yajnena tenaham. Spiritual knowledge brings about permanent harmony and peace in the world. So join us in sharing this universal divine knowledge of Lord Datta and earn the highest grace of God.